What's going on, fellow alchemists? Welcome to Astrology. Today I'm trying to use astrology to dissect and go through a process of introspection and understand how gender expression is expressed through the natal chart. This is the first video in what I'm hoping will be a couple of others that will describe, in this one, the role of the transgender woman's chart. So that's transgender woman from male to female, and how we can use astrology to find out the most prominent placements for people who exhibit and who change their identities and express their true selves this way. So join me and let's just get into it. In and around the Indian subcontinent live the Hijra, described as being intersex, transgender, or gender fluid. They are also recognized officially as the third gender in the Indian subcontinent. For this reason, they represent, as a good example, the vibrant spectrum of gender. Hijra have been mentioned throughout history, as witnessed in the Kama Sutra. For generations, they have been living in old Hijra communities led by a guru. Dating back to antiquity, the Hijra would entertain through dancing and singing, sometimes in the highest echelons of society. Even for monarchies, they were present at weddings and are said to bring good luck. They also performed some of the sacred tantric rituals, or the role of the sacred prostitute. However, during the period of British colonialization of the Indian subcontinent, they were persecuted and forced to go underground. But thankfully so embedded in the cultural fabric, they made their resurgence back after Indian independence. It's very easy when looking at the Hijra to see the experimental and varied degrees and spectrums of duality in our universe. It's not just one and two, but a whole constituency that evolves around the diversity of gender and the diversity of specific expressions within our universal whole. The Hijra represent stepping outside of the duality of two, one and two, and they constitute a new expression, the ultimate expression of the diversity of the two aspects of the universe, the masculine and feminine principle in combination with one. So what is exemplified here is the curiosity and analytical thought to proceed beyond the limitations and to extend into the full expression of the third gender, of the third principle, the context that all things are not fixed and all things have then a new process and a new development or mechanism to initiate. The youthful androgynous nature of Mercury brings in the ability to see beyond the standard expression, the rigid nature of nature itself, and in such creating a new picture over the old established one.
Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or ask the grinning bobcat why he grinned? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
I decided to look at a couple of transgender or gender fluid celebrities and make a comparison based on their natal birth charts. Some of course don't have the exact time, but those that did give me an accurate time seem to have one thing in common: a prominent mercurial energy in the chart, because Mercury represents the androgynous element, the element of curiosity and diversity, the element of thought and its process from abstract thought into concrete thought. Mercury is all about extending beyond the duality and finding the third element, the expression of the combination of the two primary masculine and feminine elements. This is all about the mercurial nature of Mercury itself, liquid Mercury, its ability to take the form and be polymorphic in its nature, to redistribute the consensus of what is to what could be, the true expression of the universe. So a prominent Mercury in the chart, either aspecting the ascendant in the first house, or perhaps prominent in other placements of the chart, can really decide or point towards the preference towards transforming the current state, the current fixed nature of gender, into the duality and spectrum that we see in the world today. Mercury can be placed anywhere, but in particular in its first and even 12th house in conjunction to the ascendant. Some natives also had Mercury sitting in their 5th house. Of course, the 5th house all about our personal expression. And with Mercury sitting in here, that personal expression can take up at least the light of a very androgynous makeup and expression into the world. Former Keeping Up with the Kardashians star Caitlyn Jenner has Mercury sitting in Libra. However, in Vedic astrology or sidereal astrology, her Mercury would be sitting in Chitra. But Mercury is in her chart the Chara Atmakarka, and for those who don't understand what that is that is predominantly the dominant planet in your chart. And with her sitting in her 12th house at the highest degree, the Chara Atmakarka is the depiction of the nature of how her life will continue or pan out. And so with Mercury being the influence here, we see the very liquidized, fluid nature of Mercury playing its role in her chart. Another notable mention is Andrea Pechik, who has Venus conjuncting Mercury, which is a very, very, very prominent aspect in a lot of transgender women's charts, sitting in her tropical chart in Leo. However, in her sidereal chart, we see Mercury and Venus sitting in Ashlisha Nakshatra, which of course is ruled over by the influences of Mercury. So again, we see the repetitive pattern of Mercury's duality and playing with the duality to express its own nature and its own curiosity. So as we can see, the androgynous expressive third element that Mercury initiates in a chart can really have an impact on how somebody identifies, in particular when it is sitting or it is dominant in the person's natal chart. So obviously there are other factors that contribute to this identity expression, but I'm just pointing out the ones that are most prominent and the one that keeps popping up in all of the charts. So fellow alchemists, we've come to the end of this very short video of Mercury's influence in transgender women's charts. Please don't forget to subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and comment down below. Take care of yourself otherwise. Bye.